Okay. What a note. What a note. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new session of Mistwalkers Section of Eternity. My name is Lily, and I'm your humble DM. I'm very excited to be hopping back in here after a small break because your girl got a tummy ache and was a tummy ache survivor last week. But either way, we'll go ahead and hop right into things. So first of all, we're going to go ahead and introduce all of our lovely players. So Yulia, would you mind introducing yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Yulia. I go by RoyalKnightVT on various socials. Streaming soon, maybe? But in the meantime, I play Dungeons & Dragons with these wonderful individuals. And for tonight, I play Kloven, who is the local cleric. And so happy to be here. Thank you.
My brain straight up heard Cl and assumed you were going to say Clive. I don't know what that says about
I'm
either me
playing
or
Clive
you.
Rossfield today. Yes, thank you.
Either way, Meris, you are next up, so please go ahead.
Yeah, that's me. I'm MerisAurum. I'm a celestial dragon VTuber. I specialize in comfy, cozy storytelling streams where we talk about all things books and literature and media literacy, and it's a great time. I also run my own D&D campaign every other Wednesday. I run the Child of Hearts, which is an ode to all things romantic fantasy. So if you like drama, messy romances, and a dash of political intrigue, definitely check that out. But tonight I play the one, the only, the titular Sewer King, the party's fighter of indeterminate subclass that should not be worried about.
Thank you so much. Next up we have Sif.
That's me. Hi, I'm Sif_VTuber. I do art. I play game. I run Curse of Strahd. Check out my YouTube channel. I have a lot of these gays there. It's really fun. It's really gay. It's really sad. They ask for the sad. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm here as Tate. I'm a farmer. I grow tulips.
Agro tulips.
Great to be back. It's great to be back. Thank you.
Yeah. And last but not least, Aster, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Aster Varatolis, local cosmic archmage. You can find me on Twitch and Blue Sky at ArchmagesTower. I am a voice actor, an aspiring tabletop RPG writer, a DM getting back into the saddle, and all-around notorious evil boy kisser. And tonight, I am playing Thaddeus, the party's artillerist artificer, who is really going through it. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. And yes, I realize it's important to say this because of the month, but happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
We're all quite queer here, so. And I'm sure that's been very clear by everything that's going on. You could not possibly make it this far into the campaign without realizing how queer we are. Anyways, we'll go ahead and hop into a quick session recap. So last time, we had a big old climactic fight against the dragon creation that the child sent in, or I should say, the mysterious being. Because that's how they introduced them. They didn't introduce themselves at this point. But after a long and arduous battle, they were given a brief respite by a massive, horrifying abomination that came out of the lab that they had just left out of. Took the time to heal up and prepared for the final assault against the dragon, causing a few of them to be knocked unconscious, but brought up by the power of friendship. Also known as healing potions. And as the dragon was on its last leg, Sewer King was able to take a good munch into its hindquarters and just absolutely demolish the creature, leaving it a mess of its former self. After that, Anti went ahead and picked up the small eye that dropped itself out of the dragon's possession, And Sewer King found himself inexplicably driven to move towards it. However, in his incredibly weakened condition, he thought the better of it and just focused on recovering. Afterwards, they were formally introduced to one of the main antagonists of this campaign, which is the Child with 10 eyes, as we are calling them. They proceeded to essentially taunt the party, tell them that they are nothing more than their playthings and that they've been enjoying watching them squirm. To which the party found a lot of issue with, most heavily Thaddeus, who proceeded to get snapped out of existence and thrown into an interdimensional void, inside of which he found an alternate reality-seeming version of himself that was much older and proclaimed that last thing they remember of the real world was fighting against the Child before appearing here. As Thaddeus went to try and prod a little bit more about any information that they might have, the conversation was interrupted as the Child brought them back to reality. Outside of this little pocket dimension, the rest of the player characters were just continuing to sort of be upset with him, yell at them, and all sorts of good things to the Child, before eventually they decided that it would be fun to watch the party struggle. So they were going to take a step back and watch and maybe make things interesting here and there. After a few more threats, the Child left, and the party found themselves alone. They took the time to go ahead and relax. They went back to the group of scientists that from Kenril and had a quick talk about what they had experienced, as well as had a nice little dinner conversation. The group generally sort of went through each of their thoughts about everything, thoughts for the future, and started to relax. The last thing that happened was Sewer King and Tate had a little conversation about, being essentially comfortable enough for Sewer King being comfortable enough to take off the mask, or the muzzle, I should say. To which Sewer King thought about, but overall didn't feel quite ready to do so yet. And the last thing that happened was Sewer King slunk out of their safe area as soon as Tate was asleep. But before we get to that, I'm gonna go somewhere else really quick, which is Thaddeus and Kloven. I believe both of the two of you wanted to talk after dinner. Would one of you like to tee this off?
Sure, I can definitely do so. So I think after dinner, Kloven will seek out Thaddeus. Is he doing anything particular, winding down for the night?
Weirdly, for Thaddeus, he's holed up and not doing a lot of anything. He's still processing everything he just went through. And it's obvious when you walk up that he's tense. Tenser than you've ever seen him. Eyes wide, the monocle's not even on. He's got it haphazardly dangling out of his coat pocket.
You look like you could use a massage.
A massage? Really?
Well, it did get you to laugh, didn't it? You seem a little tense, is what I mean.
You making me laugh does a lot more for me than anything your hands could, but... Well, who am I to say no?
Oh. So you're accepting the offer then?
I don't have the wherewithal right now to say no.
He has that, rise of his eyebrows, like split-second look of surprise before it just goes back to his normal smile. Like, all right then, if that's what'll help you get more comfortable, then absolutely. Maybe we can talk then, too.
That's what
About-
I really want.
Well, you know I'm always here to listen.
I don't just want you to listen to me. I'll listen to you too. Tell me everything on your mind. Please.
That might be a little getting too into detail, especially with how tired you are.
I don't... Kloven, I always have energy for you.
Maybe not as much as I'd hoped, but I'm kidding. No, sit. We'll talk.
He does as he's asked, and he looks at Kloven with one of the warmest smiles you've seen come out of Thaddeus in a long time. He looks like he hasn't seen you in an awfully long time and is seeing an old friend again.
He'll just smile back and move behind him. We'll kind of brush his hair off the back of his neck and just gently massage at his shoulders. All right, well, first off, I guess I could say I'm pretty shaken up. It's quite a lot to process at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm happy we all made it out.
You certainly took a trip, though. Are you feeling well
I'm fine.
afterwards?
I'm fine. I'm sorry. I don't know how to talk about what I saw. It doesn't feel real, okay?
Well, whatever it was, I'm sure it was as real as we're standing here now, but I won't pressure you into anything.
It was me, Kloven. It was
What?
me.
Pardon? What do you mean by that?
I don't know where I was, but I found a wall, or it might have been a cell, and on the other side it was me, but not me. Older, more damaged.
Were you able to speak to you? What happened?
Yeah. Before we had any kind of a breakthrough, I was snapped right back into that thing's palm. And I felt so damn close!
That's certainly a lot to take in. I'm sure I'd likely react the same way you are. It's
Kloven,
strange and different.
I missed you.
Well, you were certainly missed as well. I'm glad you came back as quickly as you did.
I was hoping I would. I was hoping I'd find a way out.
And you did. And you're here now. And everything is all right. And we'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I just have to believe it won't happen again.
Well, at least now that we know what we're up against, maybe we'll be a little more prepared in the future, but it is hard to prepare for considering what exactly we are up against.
Yeah. I've never felt smaller in my life. I put on a brave face, but I didn't know what to do. What was I supposed to? Shoot a few bullets and hope it would solve something?
That is normally your go-to, but it'd be a little bit more difficult in that situation.
I need a pretty big gun.
We certainly have more time to prepare, and we'll be more cautious going forward.
You're right. We want to go back to the stocks.
We will. We will, soon.
With you.
Well, you're not leaving me behind if that's what you're asking.
No, you... You know I wouldn't think of it.
He'll kind of dig his hand a little bit deeper as like a playful little pinch.
Ow! Ow!
Oh, was that too hard?
I'm just a little tense, okay? Sorry.
Well, I can certainly help with that. But you should just try to relax. I was thinking later on we can head to the library that we spoke about earlier. Maybe dig up something if anyone or anything knows of this child.
That sounds like a good plan. I hope we can find something, but why do I get the sense that anybody who's tried to document the child hasn't really lived to tell the tale?
We certainly, hopefully, were the first that survived, but maybe at least it'll give us a clue.
Kloven. Something's been weighing on me.
Other than my hands on your shoulder?
That's barely even a burden. You know this. I'm sorry I didn't run to you in the fight.
Well, you do have a gun. It's being in the back is usually your forte. You don't need to worry about me, Thaddeus.
Of course I was, though. I've never seen you take a dive before. In my head, you're invincible. Seeing you on the ground, I couldn't look at you. I didn't think it was real.
That's a lot of praise, Thaddeus. I'm human too.
Yeah, I know you are, but maybe on some level I didn't. I don't know.
I'm sorry I scared you.
I'm sorry I failed you.
Thaddeus, you did no such thing. This is something we've never encountered. I myself, despite being in the mist, and despite all the monsters I've have never encountered this before.
I wouldn't expect you to.
And you can't expect to be perfect on the first try.
I don't... You didn't see it. I was so afraid of seeing what it did to you. Of seeing you hurt that I ran to someone who I knew could kill it better than I could.
You're saying you sound like asking for help is a bad thing.
I had a choice between facing my fears and helping you and relying on Sewer King to kill that fucking thing. And I chose that because I didn't want to see you on the ground. I couldn't even look when I cast the spell you taught me to get you back up.
Kloven's going to stop and walk around the chair and lean down to look at his face.
Thaddeus is holding back the wet work, and it's obvious.
Thanks to you and His Majesty and Tate and all the rest, that I am still here. We all are.
Thaddeus is going to open his mouth like he's going to say something. And instead of that, he makes just a pathetic little whimper and throws his arms around you and rests his head in your chest.
He's just gonna gently pat his head. I forgive you, Thaddeus. I never doubted you. You're alright. We'll be fine.
You've been here my whole life, Kloven. If I lost you too, I don't know what I'd do.
Best not to think about it then. That would keep you up at night, certainly. We have a lot more to focus on than that. We have to focus on getting stronger and being braver.
Yeah, you're right. You always know just what to say, don't you?
I wouldn't go around saying that, but I do want to make sure you're okay. That I'm a big boy. I can handle my own, I promise.
Nearly got a head on me. I know you're plenty big.
A head on a couple different instances, but
Kloven.
he'll ruffle his hair a little bit before straightening back up. I'll give you
Thank
a
you.
moment. Yes, I'll get you some water and then we'll head over to the library.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Okay. Thaddeus, it'll be okay.
Yeah. We're all gonna be okay. I'll make sure of it.
Just remember, we're all in this together, okay? It's not just one person.
Yeah. And Kloven,
Mm-hmm.
can you promise me something.
Of course. What is it?
Hold me back if I go too far.
You know, I'll always be holding on, Thaddeus.
Thank you.
He smiles and turns to go get the water.
Thaddeus is going to collapse back onto his behind. And just... okay.
Would you folks like to go right into the library scene, or would you like to have the SK moment be a small break for you too?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the SK break.
Okay.
I also wouldn't mind the SK break.
Oh, fear.
Here. Good. With that, then we'll go ahead and move on to SK scene. Excuse me. I'm going to put this in the description, but just a nice little body horror trigger warning for what's about to happen.
Content warning.
A good little content warning for everybody.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Thumbs up.
But yes, SK, what would you like to do?
Do you want me to play off of that awful stealth check I just rolled, or
Oh, did you
where are
roll
we
a
going?
stealth check?
I
Oh,
did.
no.
Yes, it was an 8.
Oh no. If you folks want to play that out as 3, I won't say no.
Hey,
Oh.
someone who is like going to be very quiet for a good chunk of session. I would like to see it.
Okay.
I am seated.
No. So, yeah, then Kloven and Thaddeus, this is what we're doing.
God.
God, this is so spicy.
Oh god.
You folks both, while you're sort of relaxing, hear a little clatter of what sounds like a little piece of like metal or something falling. Just
Thaddeus whips out the gun. He immediately gets a rifle.
No.
Sewer King, do you reveal yourself?
I think seeing Thaddeus immediately on edge at hearing him just stumble down the hall, he'll just sort of very slowly, hands raised, kind of peek his head around the corner. Just me.
SK, you almost gave me a heart attack.
Well, wouldn't want that, now would we?
Thaddeus, I didn't know you were inviting a guest.
I didn't.
No.
What are you doing here? Are you okay? Can I
Oh,
help something?
no, I couldn't sleep. I was merely out for a brisk walk in our new surroundings, but I shan't stray far. Just clearing my head.
Well, don't. No. SK. Come here for a sec.
I wouldn't want to impose
Not
on your
imposing.
conversation.
I know what you're going to say. You're not imposing. Okay?
Very well.
Sit down.
Kind of awkwardly strolls into. He's trying to play this very nonchalant, but there's just a little something off about his gait, and his tail is kind of wagging ever so slightly in anticipation, and just sits himself down at a respectable distance equidistant between the two of them.
Thaddeus is going to immediately huff, stand up, put the gun down, walk over to SK, and ruffle his hair a little bit. Proud of you.
Thank you.
You got more of a backbone than I did back there. I
I'm-
don't think you believe it, but I was afraid we were going to die. You stopped that thing.
Hmm.
You
Yes,
did.
Thaddeus has been singing your praises this whole time.
Huh. Well, you act as though I took it down alone, and that is dishonest
You
at
got up.
best.
You got up from being out cold and delirious and bleeding. And I saw you fight harder than I've seen anyone fight in the stocks. For all of us. SK, you're one of us. You don't have to prove it. You've done plenty of proving already.
Sewer King.
Yes, DM.
No.
You blink your eyes at that statement. And as you do, right beside SK, right beside Thaddeus, arms around him, you see your mother, just staring at you beside him.
I don't think it's a matter of pride. I merely did what it took to ensure my survival, and by extension, everyone's.
She shakes her head at you.
I didn't know a king could be so humble.
Right. Truly a person of the people.
And the rats.
Yes, of course. Yeah. We owe you a great debt, Your Majesty. Thank you.
He kind of perks up a little bit at that, and his like little rat ears kind of twitch a little bit. Just yes, well, be sure that you don't rack up an exceeding amount of debts.
You know, maybe if I get a big enough debt, you'll finally be able to pay off your bar tab.
Gives a big toothy grin at that.
Thaddeus is smirking at him.
I always pay my debts in full, but...
Oh, trust me. I know.
Sewer King. She stands up and walks over to Kloven and begins to caress his face in front of you.
You see, the two of you see SK's eyes wander from Thaddeus to Kloven in a very distinct line, and his posture kind of stiffens a little bit. But I assure you such debts are not necessary. After all, I'm sure that any of you would do the same for me, were you able.
She shakes her head.
Is this a disappointed shake of her head? What are the vibes coming from, Mom?
That was a disappointed shake of her head.
Oh, no.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Whether or not it's a debt is still a debt. But while we're on this whole charade together, do our best to keep each other on our toes. Keep each other accountable.
You see, that, like, Sewer King's expression, his eyes are kind of glazed over at this point. He seems kind of distant. And he kind of just furrows his brows and just... Do any of you feel anything?
I mean, it's kind of cold out here.
Kloven, how about you?
Should I
She
be
lets
feeling something?
she lets go of Kloven, walks back over to Thaddeus, and begins to run her hand through his hair. Thaddeus, you feel nothing.
Curious. Well, I'm sure it's nothing. I must be tired. I think I'll retire. Good night.
Good night, Your Majesty.
Good night, SK.
He'll stand up and give them each a little bow. Does Mother Dearest stand up to come with me, or is she lingering?
She lingers.
He kind of backs up a few steps, eyeing what looks like to be Thaddeus, but is really looking at his mother. Gives
They're,
a curious crook of his head. Just,
There's something on my face?
no, it's just curious, is all.
It's nice to look at, though, isn't it?
Yeah. Not as nice as yours.
We'll have to
This
work
little
on that a bit.
exchange kind of snaps SK out of his his musings and just good night.
Yeah, good night.
We're really gonna have to work on that, Thaddeus.
Listen, I...
SK, as you walk out of the room and make your way towards the labs, you just hear a voice in your ear. It's best when it's just the two of us.
I know. I know. For you and me as well.
Exactly.
Well, let's see what we can't find out.
And you feel her presence drift and fade. You no longer see her around. Yes? Where are you going?
I'm going right back to the lab where I'm not supposed to be.
All right. So you make your way back over there. At this point, it's quite late at night. Not that day and night truly mean much in this lovely world we find ourselves in, but given the fact that the roof has been damaged so much more, a lot of that darkness is sort of peeking in. So there are some like lights on in the general area as you sort of skulk your way back off to the lab. As you do so, and as you reach the front entrance of the lab, you are able to... The door of the lab is still broken open from the beast that charged through. And you are able to just walk in as normal. Some of the light from the outside illuminating the inside a bit more than it had before.
Yeah, he'll just kind of creep on in. And is there still like a lot of water around the floor?
There is, yes. That part is still very much the same.
Okay, he's gonna carefully tread through it, trying not to make a lot of noise, but he's not trying to like be entirely stealthy because he wants it to know that he's here, but just that he's not, glumping through and, is intending any harm. He's just carefully treading. And he's looking specifically for that giant corpse flower being.
Okay. As you sort of begin to look around, you manage to find yourself going much further into the labs than you had before, going through a few additional doors, but your dark vision in general is able to keep things relatively well illuminated with a bit of dim light that shines through. And though you don't hear anything, something catches your eye in this secondary room. There's a large, it's not a cage, it's sort of a habitat that's behind glass. And there's a sign on it that you quickly go through and read. And it's called Experiment 0. As you look down, you begin to see something. It's dark, but a simple figure is laying there. One that you quickly recognize. It's the little volipede from before that you had seen on the
Aww.
top of the keyboard. However, there's another shape there that you don't recognize. That of what you've come to expect of a centipede. This one is different. It's got tubes embedded in it. Other needles and others just lingering in the body. And as it turns to you, you can see a deep sadness in the creature. So I'm going to drop this art into the art channel.
Ooh, new art.
Gay time.
Day made this one.
My goat!
Oh!
Oh, the Satipede.
Oh.
So this is Experiment 0. And the volipede is just cuddled up with it as it's missing a large portion of its shell and is just kind of still shambling with most of its legs missing or ineffective and just looks up at you with a soft expression.
Oh dear. Poor creature. He's going to... Is this an enclosed terrarium? Is there
It
any
is.
sort of, like...
There's glass around it, but there
Nope.
is a small, there is a small gate that can be used.
I think he... Rather than impulsively just stick his hand in the gate, I think he is just going to press a hand against the glass first, just to see how it reacts to just even his close presence.
As you do so, press your hand against the glass. It backs up a bit and sort of retreats into more of a defensive position. But as
What
you
have they done to you?
as you touch your hand to the glass, you hear shifting in the water. It slowly becomes louder and louder and louder as you hear a familiar voice, or voices, I should say, speak up to you. Just say, "Why have you come back?"
Ah. And he'll slowly turn around to, not startle it, and just stand up at his full posture, looking as prim and proper as he can. Just, I hope you'll forgive the trespassing. I know you instructed us to leave, but I was hoping you could entertain some simple curiosity, if you don't mind.
You should leave. There's nothing we can help you with.
Ah, see, that, I think, is where you are incorrect. I think there is something that you could help me with. Because I suspect that based off of the appearance of your fellow scientists, I suspect that they and I, by extension yourself, are not all that different.
There's no emotion that can be exhibited from this creature, so I'm going to mostly just say there is a bit of a pause. And they sort of lean over, and you can see some of the tendrils from the inside of the flower reach out to sort of feel and inspect. Do you allow it?
He'll extend his reptilian hand as like a handshake equivalent gesture
Hmm.
to let the corpse flower start to inspect him.
And it does so, and at this point you realize that there's no eyes on the creature. This is purely how it sees. It can hear and it can feel. And as the tendrils sort of work up and down your arm, there's like a soft set of quiet, exasperated, but acknowledging grunts. It would seem that I was incorrect. However, I do not believe that there is a way that we can help. What did you have in mind?
Well, I am a unique sort of person, I've come to find. I can change my attributes at will. I've always tried to survive. That is my utmost priority. And today, I faltered. I came across something that I, if alone, could not survive against. And if I'm going to ensure my survival, and hopefully those of my companions, I need to continue to evolve. And I don't have the luxury of time.
There's a faint whispering as if the bodies are communicating with each other. Yours is a unique power. We would wish to study it if you give us the ability.
Of course, after all, you can hardly know how to help me without understanding me.
And they sort of bend over the body of the centipede, moving backwards as the chest that the flower sprouts out of proceeds to lay down, and you are face to face with just the insides of the flower, where there is just this sort of wriggling body mass with faces and tendrils coming off of it. And they say, "We will need to look closer. Do we have your permission to look inside?"
Inside? I'm not quite sure how you would manage that, but whatever you deem necessary, I I will trust your judgment.
All we need is to slither the tendrils inside of your body to feel the traits.
He kind of quirks his head at that and just... I see. Well, I understand this is how you see, yes? Is there no other way?
This is how we can best gain what it is that we are working with, and what parts make up what inside of your body. And there's a small delay before. We promise that no harm will come to you.
You didn't harm us before, even though you certainly had the opportunity to do so. I do not think you will harm me now. Do what you need.
Stay still. If you move but a muscle, it could be catastrophic.
Duly noted. And just real quick before anything happens, he kind of wills a bit more crocodilian aspects to him, because they can like stay still for years and not move, so he's gonna adapt that animal trait real quick.
Then, allow me to elucidate. All right. This is why we had that trigger warning. Sewer King,
Yeah.
you see the tendrils of the corpse flower proceed to branch out. And they sort of go ahead and tap against the skin of different parts of your body. And as they do so, there's a quick pinch on your shoulder, on your hand, on your stomach, on your chest, and even in the back of your head. As you feel this overwhelming sense of being controlled. As they move around, you don't feel it too closely, as it is spread across every part of your body. And you can feel deep in your gut something tighten. And then in your heart, tighten. And even around your lungs, tighten. And then as you take...
Quite a good grip you've got there.
As you take a moment and these feelings settle, even around your head tightens. And then a final tendril begins to go in through right below your chest cavity. And you feel it move all around through your body. Go against your tailbone to inspect there and just move every part of you. Until a voice speaks up. It seems you were able to digest something quite powerful. That is how you operate, no?
Yes, well, I did manage to have a few mouthfuls of Mist Dragon spinal cord.
This, and you can feel it reach inside of your stomach. could be useful.
Ah, you've got a good grip on both of my stomachs.
If I were to take this and break it down molecule by molecule, you could absorb it faster. As of now, it may stay as a pit in your stomach.
I see.
Do you wish me to do so?
Oh, yes, if it means getting access to it sooner.
Very well. You feel this tendril inside of your stomach just move around and just. There's a soft crunching as if your stomach is being moved to try and help digest this bit of dragon. And as you do, you feel it, and it becomes known to you. As this dragon enters into your psyche in the same way that all of the animals that you've ever eaten enter your psyche. And just almost as if instinctually, along your back, a layer of scales proceeds to appear. More so than reptilian scales, these are large and hardened, and seem to almost be prismatic in color. And as they go across your body, you can feel the tendril remove itself from your stomach and move towards pull itself out and move towards your back to trace along the back of your spine. It says, that should be enough. And then they're going to slowly and carefully remove all of the rest of the tendrils from their holding positions inside of your body and let you go freely.
Thank you. My, what a thorough but invasive procedure.
Thoracic. Minimally invasive. Believe me,
Quite.
it could have been more.
I believe you entirely, my friend. So, I don't feel much different, though I suppose I'll acclimate to it in time. Is there nothing else that I can do to strengthen myself?
We would not allow you to eat any of the monsters here.
No, I would not ask that. I see that they are not just specimens. Do you hear? That one over there, Experiment 0, it doesn't seem like it is long for this world. What will happen to it?
Eventually, I'm sure it will pass. However, until then, it is invaluable research.
It's unlike many of the other animals and creatures here, it doesn't seem content or safe.
It is safe. Content.
I don't-
No.
Is there nothing you could do for it?
We have made it as comfortable as it can be. Not all creatures survive in the name of science. Experiments
eyes-
often cause harm. We have lost many a creature in the pursuit of our goals.
His eyes kind of snap up at that. I suppose. Progress rules over all, then.
Always. Or else we would not exist in the state that we do.
Oh. How does it take to company? Does anything else interact with it?
The small creature with it is one of many that find comfort. We believe perhaps they view it as an almost distant relative, given that their beings are closely entwined.
He nods at that. That's some small measure of relief. Beings in isolation. Well, they tend not to do well.
Indeed. You must leave now. Prolonged exposure does not bode well.
Indeed. Thank you, truly, for your assistance. I know that company, let alone meddlesome company, was wanted.
Please.
Good night. I shan't trespass again.
Good night.
Until give a very polite bow to this being. Give a lingering glance over his shoulder to Experiment 0. Is it still, like, slinked away in the corner of its terrarium?
It's gone back to its resting position. It's not slinked away anymore. You can see that the little volipede that was with it is no longer there.
Hmm.
You hear a little pitter-patter run alongside you towards the exit.
Is it the volipede?
As you walk out the entrance of the labs, you can see that the little volipede is there, looking at you, with a little quizzical expression.
Hello. He'll slowly extend a hand, palm up, let it sniff him or inspect him.
Walks up to you closely, gives you said little sniff, and just quirks its head one way, quirks its head the other way, and just looks up at you with expectant eyes.
Can I give it little head scritchies?
You may give it little head scritchies.
I
Oh.
give it head scritchies.
I will say, can you make me an animal handling check with advantage?
Oh, okay. 18.
18. That is what we in the business call good.
Yay!
And so as you reach out your hand to give it some little scritchies, you can see it kind of closes its eyes happily as it just feels your hands just kind of going along its head and just kind of feeling a bit more comfortable. And it proceeds to kind of like curl up a little bit into a ball right beside you.
Oh! Can I pick it up?
You can certainly try.
Oh! Alright, before I attempt to pick it up, I'm just gonna run my hand across, like, because this is the crab one,
The
right?
horseshoe crab, yes.
I'm just gonna run my hand along the plates of its shell and see how it reacts.
It lets you without opening its eyes.
Oh. I won't lie, I want to try to pick it up.
All right. As you go to pick it up, it does not put up a fight and you can hold it.
I'm so thrilled. I'm going to, never mind all the body horror that just happened to me. SK made a new animal friend and he's delighted. He is going to carry it for as long as it lets him, and he's just gonna head back to his room, well, wherever he and
Yeah.
Tate were hunkering down.
Mm-hmm. All right. And it'll kind of go with you for a bit, but then probably after about 5 minutes of walking, it'll kind of start to do the little shimmy that animals do when they're trying to get loose.
Yep, he'll let it go.
And it will run off and just go ahead and find somewhere else to sleep. All right. Then let's go back to Thaddeus and Kloven real quick. How you doing?
There?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
There.
How do we follow that up?
So like now would be like morning, and they'd be going to the library, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So two men waking up in the morning. You know, what would y'all do first?
I need to stress something very important.
Mm-hmm.
Thaddeus absolutely wakes up second.
I can't. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thaddeus is awake, and he is waiting. Near the entrance for Thaddeus to come downstairs to where I'm not sure structurally how this place is set up.
So where you guys are currently in is kind of in like a soft living quarters area in this side of the bubble. There's it's like an entire indoor area that is going to be, or that like has the library inside of it. So like you can kind of still walk fully indoors to get over to where the library is.
Okay, that's very convenient. Okay, so instead, he'll wait outside the library.
There's signs that point to it, I should specify, so easy enough to find.
Great, Kloven can read. Canon event.
Good.
All right. Then you
Thaddeus is
go ahead.
Thaddeus is going to come out with hair a mess and like adjusting his monocle and slowly sliding on his coat. Just I needed the rest. Hey. Hello, I'm up.
Hi, have any visitors last night?
Other than you, I'd hope not.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I can read. Thaddeus has his eyes almost squinted shut when he's saying this.
I mean, we can come back later if you need more rest.
No, I'll be fine by the time we get there.
Okay. Then, shall we?
Yeah, and my back feels a lot better after last night too.
Oh, good. So, then, most certainly, if you need any more, you can ask then.
I will if I need it.
Man, I can't look at this chat. Anyway,
We're being very mature and
You're very mature. Minimize the Discord.
I minimize. Okay. Okay. So, stepping inside, how large is this library?
The library itself is pretty large. I would say, just thinking about like standard library shelves, there's probably at least like 2 rows of 10 columns at least, and then like a solid wall that kind of goes around the room as well. But one thing you immediately notice as you look through the library is that most of the books are science. Like they're all labeled as different forms of science, like biology, geology. I should have looked up other names for like science things like poison and stuff like that. But
Chemistry.
Chemistry. Yeah. Let's go, chemist.
Let's go.
Let's go, chemist.
Everything is an ology. I'm gonna scream.
I'm sorry, Sif.
Okay.
Go
You're
ahead.
fine, Lily. I love you.
Then that being the case, probably trying to look at geology and biology, trying to go back as far as he can. Maybe there's some sort of scientifical theory of like the creation.
Okay.
Thaddeus is going to do the same through the history books.
I was about to say I will say that there's also just like a very small like non-fiction/fiction section that are not science books in particular. Would you still like to look through more of that side of things, Kloven?
Yes, definitely. If there's anything like logical,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then
Yeah.
absolutely.
Go ahead and I want both of you to roll me a investigation check.
You got it,
Sure.
boss.
Oh! Yulia, what the hell?
It's 2
Hello?
nat 20.
Raw!
All of the nat ones have led to this.
I got 21.
Okay. You guys both rolled very well. Then
Give me all the secrets.
give me all the secrets. Yeah, well,
Give us all of the world building.
so, Kloven, as you sort of take a look through this and sort of like look into all the different biologies and geologies and all that good stuff to sort of try and see how far back things go, it gets a little strange because the world that's being described in these books does not exactly match the world that you folks at least have experienced. And not in a way that is like clearly incorrect, not in a way that is like this was written like about. It just feels like what you are reading is written about a world entirely different, like one that you've never seen, that's never existed in your knowledge of the world. And granted, everybody's knowledge of the world is quite lacking considering everything. But
Right.
what you do know, and you think through this about Kenril, is that you know it's also connected to the stocks quite closely. And so seemingly these 2 bastions of science, both their worlds as described and what makes them up are different than what you know. And this discrepancy strikes you as strange. Like, whatever is making up this world shouldn't be. And then, Thaddeus, what exactly did you say you wanted to look at, like creation myths?
Creation myths, history, technology, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So one thing you'll notice is that a lot of history books seem to kind of stop right at the year 2100. Like there's lots of history going back before that, going like back thousands of years of recorded history. But then right about at that point, you notice that basically no books have been written on the history since then. And that strikes you as odd. Going into another book, however, you also see this idea of a creation myth that sounds very strange. One that centered us around a few individual stories of mythical proportions and seemingly almost like fantasies, all centered around a figure known as God. And as you scroll through the second half of the book, it takes more of a different focus, with different books being written by different names like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Man, my man is just reading the Bible.
Oh my god.
You are, in fact, reading the Bible. And other such ideas that just seem to be impossible. There's no reference of any weirdness. There's no reference of any monsters or anything of the sort. It's just humans. Humans and angels and demons.
Find anything interesting, Thaddeus?
Well, to be honest, it kind of sounds like a fairy tale. I mean...
You were in the nonfiction section, weren't you?
yeah, but... There's a lot more in this world than just humans. This is a weird creation myth. It's talking about a god as if there's only one. Or any to begin with. I know there's a few that get worshipped back in the stocks, but... Or at least talk
Saying
about.
that as if I'm not a cleric.
Yeah, but there's only the one they talk about.
The tree, yes. Well.
No, it's like a guy.
Hmm?
Yeah, how do I explain this? It's not a tree. I mean, I guess there's this passage about a burning bush or something. I don't know.
That's okay.
Why is this a non-fiction? It doesn't make any sense.
Sounds a little fiction to me.
A little bit. I'll read more of it to you later if you want to hear it. It's a little bit ridiculous.
If they'll let us borrow it, then sure.
Oh, right, library rules.
There's no one manning the library. I want to make that clear.
Oh my gosh, not Thaddeus. A inventory Bible. I will, based on those mythological finds, is there any, by any chance, that Kloven could find about dragons?
About dragons.
This is kind of like, as he's meandering, not really, kind of privately to himself, just to the side.
Yeah. I'll say with a natural 20, there are some books that you find over in the fiction section detailing different sort of styles of dragons. And you notice that there's a bunch of different types of them. There's ones that are more like broad, muscular, and like stocky, while there's others that are more long, flowing, and elegant, we'll say. And as you sort of take a look through these different fantasy novels, it just seems like they got something, but it's not quite right. Like, you've seen the dragon, the mist dragon, like, you're specifically talking about the mist dragon. You've seen that, and you've seen Mai, and you're like, that's pretty close. But it just seems, it's, as I said, it's in this fiction fantasy section, and you know that it is real. they're talking about things like Norse mythology, East Asian, etc. Words that you've never heard before.
And I guess if I can't find the answers here, I'll have to talk with it myself. Kind of put those books back. But we'll definitely be pocketing the earlier ones mentioned
Sure.
about the discrepancies in the world to back to the others.
Do I get to add one copy of the Bible to my inventory,
You
DM?
bet you can add one copy of the Bible to your inventory. Just as an aside to the audience, all religion is totally okay. I just think it's hilarious to describe the Bible to fantasy characters.
It's really funny.
I can't believe we made Christianity real and not one but two campaigns.
Oh, listen, the god in this book is like a guy. Don't worry about it.
It's like,
He's got a big beard and he lives on a cloud.
All right, though. Anything else before we wrap up?
No, that's good. That's great information.
Cool. All right. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the next scene, which, Yulia, you get no rest. It's Kloven and Tate time.
Alrighty. Okay, so I guess after spending a little bit of time with Thaddeus poring over some books, he is going to excuse himself and look for Tate. Where is Tate? What is he doing?
I imagine if it's been some time after waking up, I assume like Tate would wake up before SK, given the little escapade SK did.
SK's passed the fuck out. Like he is sleeping till like noon.
Yeah, Tate would tuck that fucker in and then walk out. And then just like with nothing to do as like, you know, farmer man waiting for like technology to advance, he would probably be grabbed by some scientists to like, hey, move this heavy thing over there. All right, cool. Can you lift it? Can you lift 15 pounds of weight?
I want to note, as you're doing this, just as a bit of extra detail, is that probably what you're helping with a lot of this is moving some like electrical equipment, which is something you're familiar with, from like this sort of indoor area that you guys have found your sleeping quarters in, down to the tree itself. So you're kind of moving back and forth while they're seeing Anti is very much awake and up, going through the tree and starting to sort of like replug some things in and going through lots of technology that is way beyond your current scope of understanding.
It's okay, I got my PPE on.
Okay, it's okay because Kloven needed some outdoor time breather anyway. So as he walks out, he will find Tate hard at work. Need some help with that.
Of course, big man, come on. Anti and the other scientists are having me move a bunch of stuff from one place to another, you know, what I'm good at, and one of the many things you're good at, so I could use the company too. Not too many people here are eager about moving boxes.
Well, he'll walk over and take the ones from Tate's hand. Actually, I was hoping not to see you do so much manual labor after a fight like that. Why don't you sit for a moment?
All right, but you're getting a pot calling the kettle black talk after this.
Oh, I was hoping to scold you first.
All right. Go for it. As Tate will just lean up against the tree at this point. I'm assuming that's where they are right now.
Yeah, just as extra bit of flavor, because I want to show how this happens over the course of a few days. The tree still, like all of the like external wood areas are still on the ground, but you can see that there's like some efforts to try and prop them back up, but it's not had much success so far.
this hollowed out, like, decaying metal, like, fusion of technology and wood, just, like, a bunch of struts being put up. Tate's just
Mhm.
gonna lean against one of the panels outside. So, this is the part where you scold me, or are you gonna give me a once-over?
I was hoping to do a bit of both if you'd allow me.
Yeah, sure. What do you, need me to do?
Well, I would ask if you would take your shirt off, but that's completely up to you.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. Hang on. As a, like, throw the jacket off, then unbutton the overalls, then unbutton the shirt, and, greasy, sweaty farm boy who has not taken a shower yet, or a bath. Yeah, I mean, I got a few new nicks and scars here that I didn't have before, but, I seem to have healed alright. None of that blackened skin stuff or veins from last night with the mist. But, I could use another set of eyes on this.
Well, certainly. He'll kind of let his eyes linger for a little bit too long before kneeling down beside him and just running his hands softly over any of the residual veins that are left behind or any of the scar. How are you feeling, though? Any sort of pain this morning? I've never had that much encounter. I mean, certainly with the mist. Quite that close.
Well, I mean, I have what you'd normally expect, soreness from bruising, puncturing, swinging harder than I think I ever should have. But outside of that, I'm mostly fine. I think that plantar magic I finally developed, it's really helping me push the stuff out of my system.
Hmm.
I can make
That's
wind
good.
now, so blowing it out, I guess. Now, what about you? You went down there for a little bit. You want to take your shirt off too?
You are quite the interesting character, Tate. If you had meant it in any other sense, I would have complied, but I'm talking about you right now.
No. I'm sure Thaddeus or Adamar would give you a once-over, though, if you feel unsure about it. I mean that. You'd be surprised how many little nicks and scars you can get without thinking it, without realizing.
Oh, I am sure they would examine me very thoroughly. But enough about me. He kind of will pinch his cheek a little bit.
Yeah.
You You are getting very strong, Tate. And I see much of the Plantar family. You do so much to protect all of this. But we're here to protect you too. You know that, right?
Know that, and if I ever go down and start pushing myself too hard, that's when that speech will make more sense, but... I mean... I know you guys got my back, and hopefully, despite my resume being more about soil than it is about swinging, you guys get that I'm here for you too, right? I'm not a civilian at this moment. I'm an expeditioner with y'all.
I
I get.
still very much have an obligation to protect you. And that means allowing me to heal you, or look at your wounds, or at least let me be the cleric I claim to be.
I won't say no to any help from you, buddy. But here, take a seat for a quick second. Let me talk to you about something.
Of course. He'll set himself right beside him.
I don't know if you really remembered before, was more talkative, but and also Tate's shirt is off this whole time, by the way. He's sweating. He's not. It's
He's
comfy.
fully aware. Yes, yes.
Yeah, so letting the others know in the Discord. um, yeah, I don't know if you remember back when I wasn't so talkative. We didn't really talk much then before. Even after your sister introduced me, I was still kind of antisocial, lacking in confidence. And I didn't really get involved or know much about you or Adamar or the other guards. Just ran my deliveries of paw, gave you guys whatever you needed, understood that your budget priorities were very important for the work that you did. But I didn't really get that until one of my trips over there. I saw that you guys had come back from a recent attack, and I saw how fucked up you guys were. It's one really bad day. I think you might have lost someone that day too, but you guys were hurting, and it actually hit me seeing the scars, the blood, the bruising. So, I talked to your sister about it, and she tried to assuage me of everything, tell me it's your job, that you were doing what's right. And you wanna know the first thing I did when I got home?
Mm-hmm.
I started picking up heavier things and putting them right back down. I started working out and pushing myself. Not because I wanted to be a guard or anything, mind you. This combat stuff might be a little too much for me even now, but I've always wanted to do better. And you're one of the reasons why. Right? So I don't want you to feel bad about anything that happens when we go fight. If someone goes down, if someone gets hurt, it sucks. And I will be upset, just as you are right now, but I know that's what it means for us to help each other right now. Whether it's to that baby, that flamboyant devil, or the mist. Alright?
Certainly have gotten better at talking. A little. I'm flattered.
Always.
Well, had I known I was such an influence, try to recruit you then.
I definitely could have used your advice. I think I broke my arm once, lifted a way too heavy of a hay bale.
Well, can clearly see how much you've improved, and I'm happy for you, but that just means that I'm going to be keeping a closer eye on you.
I appreciate that. Could use your help in a few things, though. Actually, assuming that we're good with the healthcare. So you and your sister, you're all you've got at home, right? You're tight as can be, yeah.
Of course, since the beginning, we didn't really have parents. I mean, I was as close to a mother as she is a...
I just my family's tight like that too, and obviously you guys are always welcome. My mom and sis love and you, and dad really appreciates everything that you do, and your sister. So I could really use your opinion on this. Before all this came down, it's just now hitting me though. The sobriety of the moment is hitting me. That we'll be going home after this. I talked to my dad about it and basically got his blessing with his jacket and all. I didn't talk to my ma or my sis about this, and because I knew, they'd try to stop me or something. I could use your advice on that. Got any?
It would help to know who exactly we were referring to.
My mom, my sis, Cabby, she's Mrs. Plantar, my dad's wife, a teacher before Ma took up that role when my ma retired, who is now back to teaching since Ma is indisposed of. My sister Pumpky, you know her. She's nice, pretty.
Yes, quite,
Shades.
yes.
Yeah. Town druid, yeah. Yeah, I remember. If you ever got in trouble with Mai before, I can't exactly pull off the baby doll eyes you got, but any other advice you got would be great.
Well, if you need me to accompany you during that time, I would at least soften the blow.
I would appreciate having y'all with me when we went over. That offer to have you all stay the night is still on the table.
And I would very much love to take you up on that. But you are a true and honest, and I do not believe they would fault you for what you've done. What I've seen today. maybe it won't be as bad as you think.
Get my ear pulled and get yelled at, but outside of that, yeah, hopefully it'll be fine. Thank you, Kloven.
Yes, your family is dear to all of us. Most certainly you. So, I'm looking forward to getting back. Likely. That means
Yeah.
arriving in one piece.
Well, I mean, made it to the easy part now. All we gotta do is hope the teleporter works, right?
This technology is interesting. I don't think I'll ever quite get the hang of it, but
A little secret I picked up from my dad. You don't gotta understand how something works. You just need to know how to make it work. You know, like I don't need to know what goes in the car to make it go forward, right? That's his problem.
excellent advice. Thank you, Tate. But
Yeah, like you don't need to know the music to dance. You just dance. The music's Mai's problem.
she makes beautiful music. She does.
I'm
So
looking
much
forward to
for
seeing her again.
as am I. I guess my scolding wasn't that long and as forceful as I intended it to be. Certainly have a way of calming it, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, but I mean, I'm not saying you can't be scolding, but I know people compare you and Adam are like good cop, bad cop, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. You can scold and teach plenty with a soft voice if my mom's anything to go by. And I'm keeping your words in mind, don't worry.
Mm.
Still
Well,
just hard.
if you do need something more forceful in the future, do let me know.
You offering to work on the farm in your free time? Because, we'd always appreciate it.
Right. I would be happy to help.
Alright, well, I'm gonna get back to moving this stuff. Feel free to join me, or, you can rest too. There's no shame in that.
No, I'll help you.
Alright, come on.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
And we'll close on that scene. And next up, Thaddeus.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
As you are sort of coming back from the library, just perusing through the different books that you and Kloven were able to pick up, you hear a quick, just a little like on the door.
Come in.
Door slides open, and you see Adamar walk into the room.
Hey, if it isn't my favorite stick in the mud. How's it going?
Oh, being a bit more stick in the mud than usual.
Alright, what's got you down? Talk to me.
He just kind of comes in, makes himself a bit more comfortable, seated at a chair, the chair that he kind of pulls up closer to you, but still a good, 4 or 5 feet distance between the two of you. He just says, I wanted to talk to you about something. If you have a moment.
This feels like the kind of talk that's gonna end with me getting slapped in handcuffs, but sure.
No handcuffs this time. Unless they're necessary. See, when I first started to organize this expedition that we are currently on, you were one of the first people I thought of. Because I knew that you had the drive and the passion to see it through. And that passion came through very clearly. A bit too clearly, I might say. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I've got a bit of an idea.
See, we don't exactly have any leaders here in this party. However, I do like to think that I can keep a good leash on most of you here. And yesterday, when we managed to find ourselves in the tree, and you managed to find a message from a certain lost mother figure, I spoke to you and said, "It does not confirm anything," to which you responded, essentially telling me to shut up and get the hell out. Do you remember that?
About as clearly as anything I've seen since I got to Kenrol.
And then, after the fight, you proceeded to say, well, we're going to move right on to the next objective without taking into consideration the status or need to rest of the rest of our compatriots.
Yeah.
You were hot-headed, emotional, and it almost got you killed. When that creature snapped you out of existence, they only brought you back because they felt like it. You could have been gone forever on a whim because of your hot-headedness. And you disobeyed me. And you disrespected your friends. That is unacceptable in this sort of journey. We have to have each other's backs through and through with a calm, collected demeanor of which I can be your fixed point.
You want to be my fixed point?
Please, elucidate me on what you're feeling right now. Show me what you've learned.
I feel like I'm being reiterated on a lesson I already picked up yesterday. Adamar, I'm sorry. Fuck. You're right. You're plenty right. We don't have what we need to keep going. And last night, when I poured my heart out a bit, I realized I don't either. You got a good head on your shoulders, and I thought I did. Sorry.
He scooches his chair a little closer and puts a hand on your head. Thaddeus, you do have a good head on your shoulders. It's just a little hot. Your heart is in the right place. I know, at least for Kloven and Sewer King, I can understand that you would do absolutely anything to cause them to not fall to any harm.
You know,
I'm sure you feel the same about Tate as well.
if I lose Tate, I lose my best supplier and one of my best friends. If I lose you, I lose the one guy in the stocks who can get me to stop doing something. If I lose SK, well, it's the same deal as Kloven. They've been there my whole life. And I got ahead of myself. I don't know what I'm chasing here. Maybe just the hope that if I find her, I can find a solution that'll save everybody. If anybody could have figured it out, it would have been her.
Jillian was no fool. She took her time. She was prepared for every outcome.
She built bunkers. she planned. She brought the best people. You know what she always told me? I bet she told you the same thing. Better to have it and not need it.
Than to not have it and be without it.
Exactly. You know, you've always been really unshakable, Adamar. Except one time I can remember. You and Kloven came back from an expedition. You were both looking rougher than I'd ever seen you. And Tate picked up the slack with Kloven. He sure did there. But you went straight to the bar. Didn't say a word. Asked me for the strongest stuff I had in the back. I know what you're afraid of. I know the one thing in the world that scares you.
And what is that?
You don't want to see anyone else go missing. You don't want to lose anyone else, do you?
He sort of leans back into his chair. Lets out an exasperated sigh. Hardly feels like a fear, but... yeah. Perhaps it is in its own way.
Thaddeus is going to hold a hand out to him. Listen. I'm the same way. You told me back at the stocks something along the lines of us both being pillars of that place in our own way. I think it's about damn time we started leaning on each other. And if you trust me to have the drive and the passion to keep going, then I trust you to make sure I don't do anything fucking stupid again.
He'll reach out his hand and grab yours in sort of a handshake, but he's going to squeeze your hand tightly.
Yeah. God, your grip is crazy.
When you use a bow and arrow, you need strong hands.
That you do. Mine, they're just quick and calloused.
But quick fingers and quick triggers can be the difference between life and death in these sort of expeditions.
Thank you for coming here.
Of course.
Even if it was something I already knew, I'm sorry I upset you.
I'm going to yell at you again at some point.
That's a given. You come into my bar once a week to yell at me about something or other.
Indeed.
At least this time I'm giving you a reason to do it.
Fair enough. Don't lose your head out there. You know Jillian would never act on pure emotion. Use that big brain of yours and think it through.
You're right. That is what I'm best at. You know, I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about... Fuck it. Adamar. I'm scared. I'm scared we're fighting something we can't win.
We may very well be. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try. All those people back in the stocks. They deserve to live a life of happiness.
You're right.
Of not thinking about these questions. That is what I fight for. I fight for their innocence and their happiness. Because they deserve a life not quarantined inside of a wall.
You're right. And I'm fighting for an answer. Because if we can answer these questions, what's out there in the dark, what's in the mist, it's going to be a hell of a lot less scary once we understand it. If we can understand it, we can fight it. And if we can fight it, we can stop it.
He goes over to Thaddeus and just puts a hand on his shoulder and just says, I'll leave the thinking to you in that way then.
And I'll leave the rationality to you then. But, Adamar, it's my first time being truly outside of the stocks since I lost my arm. I panicked. I panicked a lot.
All right.
I couldn't aim a shot straight. I watched that dragon take down Kloven and SK. Put more holes in Tate than a block of cheese. And it hurt you too. And me. I didn't know what to do. It's a lot more pressure than shooting a couple mysteries to get too close to the wall.
Now, Thaddeus, not to interrupt you, why did you mention yourself last?
I think you know the answer.
Because you value yourself last?
Adamar, I don't think you understand. Or maybe you do. If it came down to the wire, between me and you, or Tate, or SK, or Kloven, my notes and my technology, that can outlive me. Kloven's heart doesn't go on. Tate's strength doesn't go on. SK's traits, those sure as hell die with him. And the stocks need a guard captain. So of course I value myself last.
You said you saw a version of yourself in that empty space. Was he the only one there?
I can't be sure. There was so much space to go through that I only hit the one wall. But I got the sense that he was the last one to go down. I got the sense that he was a me who had to outlive everybody else. And I've never seen less light be in someone's eyes.
We live in difficult times, that is. Maybe I can't ask you to not hold yourself last. You seem quite set in that ways. What instead I will ask you is to hold yourself at least at the same station as your friends.
I'll work on it. That's about the best I can promise right now.
When I was young, I didn't value myself at all. I was just an empty, lost soul, looking for a purpose. And then I found my purpose in others. They helped me feel like I was worth it. And so I worked on myself. I became the man I am before you. It took time. It took work. And I still don't value myself as well as apparently I should. Even your sewer king knew that. But at least I can feel like I'm honest with myself. At least I can feel that I am the best version of myself I can be given the circumstances.
Adamar, if I might. When I put my brain to it, I feel like I'm one step off. I feel like, when I think about things rationally, I'm here fighting for the best cause that could possibly be in a world like this. I'm here with the best people I've ever known in my life. I'm here with people who know who they are. Like you, and Kloven, and Tate, and SK, whatever Anti is. But I feel like something's missing. The bar, Hunter, Jillian, the connections I've made, the friends I have, the feelings I'm holding on to. I feel like I'm one breakthrough off. And that's why I flew off the handle. I feel like if I find out what she was hunting for, and if I finish that work, I'll find it. I'll find what I need. But that's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take things other than a fool with a bunch of tools and a dream to get done.
Thaddeus. He stands up. You think so highly of everyone else. I assure you, they've got things weighing on them too. And that your idea that they know who they are, I can see it in them. They're scared too. We're all scared. Lean on them. Care for them. Don't ever put yourself last. This isn't a game that someone has to be last. This is life, and life is complex.
Hey. There's something eating at me, and I've got to ask a question.
Gestures for you to go ahead.
I was barely 16 when I took the bar. You know that. It should have been Hunter. He knew the thing inside now. But he helped me, and people came all the same. But you didn't go before I took over. But you came in every week after. Whether it to be to yell at me, to get a drink, or to talk to me properly. Adamar, what is it you see in me?
I see a young man that needs to find himself. Someone not too distant from me, as I was.
Damn it. Why is everything around me making me cry right now?
Maybe because you haven't let yourself cry in long enough. It's healthy, you know. Don't let anyone tell you that a man shouldn't cry. Feel your emotions. They make you you. He kneels down in front of you and wipes away the tear from your eye. Now get up, Thaddeus. We have some work to do.
All Thaddeus is going to do is nod. Prop himself back up to his feet. Can I lean on you for a moment?
Please.
And without a word, Thaddeus is going to put an arm around Adamar's shoulder.
I'll just let the moment linger. And just let you do what you need to do. Otherwise, just look down at you softly.
Thank you. Thank you for always being there.
Of course. Take care, Thaddeus.
I will. I'll be ready to go when we're all set.
Oh,
And
there's still plenty more work to do. I think.
Adamar. I'm throwing a feast at the bar when we all get back. Don't think you aren't invited.
I know. We'll see. Lots of work to be done, as always.
You can afford one afternoon off. For me.
I'll see what I can do.
Pull some strings. You're good at it when it matters.
With my second in command for sure being there, it's always difficult.
Yeah, I've kind of got your hands tied with that one, don't I?
You don't get to turn this around on me, Thaddeus.
Yeah, I've turned a few tables in my time.
You're trying to flirt. It doesn't work on me.
Hardly. I'm just trying to say I've won our mind games a couple of times.
Oh, perhaps. You are the smartest person in the stocks.
And unfortunately for me, you're the one with the monopoly on the hand.
Get back to work. And he'll just kind of walk out.
Yeah. Wait till I tell you about the god that lives on a cloud.
Some other time. Alright. We'll close that scene there. Next up, we have Tate. So,
Yeah!
yeah. As the days kind of go by, everybody, you working with the scientists to be basically their muscle. At one point, Janine is going to kind of come over to pull you aside for a bit. And she kind of just prances up to you as you're sort of taking a break, getting a drink of water from another set of picking up heavy things and putting them down. And she's going to just hop up and just be like, Tate, I know you've been helping a lot recently, but I wanted to, there's something else that we could really use your help with. I don't mean to impose, but, it would be appreciated.
Please, Janine, don't don't worry about it. Stops being imposing when we've known each other this well. So, by all means, take me over, all right?
I mean, we've only known each other for 3 days at this point, but it's still
You fed us, gave us shelter, put up with our questions and our suspicious glances. I think that's a mighty fine point to say we're at least friends, yeah?
Right, of course.
But by all means, friend, take me.
Okay, we need to go to the greenhouse. So if you'll, please follow me. There's a few things there that I was hoping that I could have you take a look at, and a few boxes there that need carrying back out to the kitchen. We usually have a few people to do that, but they're all busy working on the tree, so yeah.
All right, yeah, let me just let me put my shirt on at least.
Oh, of course. Whatever you're most comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. And Tate will gladly follow Janine to the greenhouse.
All right. And she'll just kind of like hop along. Just moving. She moves at a much faster pace than you do, but it's kind of unconscious that she does so. It's just a nature of her having cheetah legs. And just kind of keeps turning around, goes like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll slow down," and she does her best to walk at your speed.
It's okay. I can hoof it a little if you're more comfortable with that. With my 40 walking speed.
Speedy boy. All right. And so as you guys kind of enter the greenhouse, what you see there is just a vast variety of plants. There's just innumerable amount of just veggies, fruits, and other stuff. Oh. Meris?
Meris perished.
Meris perished.
I'm sure he'll hop back in here in a second. You all right, Meris?
Yeah, Discord just disconnected. I don't know what happened, but I'm good now.
We just had a little picnic. It's okay. All right. But yeah, just tons of fruits and veggies, beans, all that good stuff. Everything that you would need to create a good old vegan meal. But looking around, you can kind of see it's all very well handled. And as you kind of come over to a set of blueberries, and right beside them is a big old box of them, like with just an absolutely massive amount of them. And she'll just kind of point at it, it's like, that's one of the boxes there. Is everything all right?
Yeah, it's just out of your DM. So like, there's nothing like immediately new here, right? Like, we got blueberries back in the stocks, yeah.
Yeah. This is all stuff that you would be familiar with. Like you as the planters have like, all that good stuff, but like it's very familiar to you. The amount of produce that they make is honestly probably less than what is made by the planters at the stocks, given the difference or discrepancy in population. This is a much smaller place, but given the fact that they are all vegan, there's still a lot, because that needs to be a lot.
See, yeah, no, this is fun. I mean, it's just berries, right? So,
right.
You guys, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
I think, sorry, if you'll permit me. I think you seem very used to this.
Yeah. Back home, my family are the primary caretakers of the land for the stocks. Plenty of townsfolk do work as well, and their own businesses and own things. But my blood's always been one with the soil. My mom, her line of the family is Plantar family's had a lot of things to do with nature. My sister especially, she can talk to plants and they'll talk back.
Oh,
It's a little weird.
that is quite interesting.
Mm.
As you sort of take a look around, one thing that you notice that is slightly different. There's a lot of essentially science that goes into the work of farming, even just in the more low-key way that the stocks do it. You can see everything here. There's like automated sprinklers above it, other things to simulate more natural sunlight and other things. It's very methodical, very scientific. And she just kind of looks at you and just says, "So, well, what do you think about our setup here then? Anything that could be improved?"
How about you walk me through what your workflow is in here? Since sprinklers look automatic, I imagine that you guys, most of the hands-on work is the actual harvesting and planting, right? Unless there's something that takes care of that for y'all too, right?
We have some machinery that handles that as well.
And you guys have a primary just vegetable diet, which is entirely fine. I know one or two folks that are a bit more buff than I am with just that diet. There's not much to comment on. It's just, listen, you guys are a small, more cloistered community, and that's fine. I'm just, in comparison, the stocks is a much larger population, right? So we got more farmland, more people to feed, stuff like that. So it's not really comparable in the sense that I feel like I shouldn't be the one making criticisms. My dad, he's the scientist, so he'd love to come here and crack heads with you if you'd be willing to let him.
I suppose if we can get the teleport up and running, then that would be good. That would be good.
Then you can come by, see how we do things, and it doesn't just have to be all be work. I mean, you guys, Thaddeus runs a bar. I'm assuming y'all know what alcohol is like, right?
Some, yes, but not much. More of wine.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he's got that too. I'm not personally a big fan of drinking, but yeah, no, it'll be good to have you around, Janine.
She kind of takes a second and pauses as she looks down at your feet. Sees some of the vines from the plants seem to be growing towards your foot. She just sort of takes a second and just, while you were talking, just completely lost track of things and is now just staring at your foot.
Do I notice?
Probably. She's not hiding it.
Hey, listen, Janine, I want you to know that we're not the kind of people that judge, and if we ever gave you that inkling, well, I'm sorry if we did, but
there's a vine growing towards you right now. Tate?
You guys aren't doing any like weird science with plants, right?
Like
I mean, like to make him move like that, right? Because he'll just start to like move and then start circling around her as the vines just follow.
No, we're not doing anything like that. You said that your sister was a druid. Does she help the plants grow?
Yeah. She doesn't do all the manual labor since, she's not really about that, but she does a lot of the magical support, makes them grow. If the soil's not looking good, she rejuvenates it, stuff like that.
Do you not have any of that?
Well, I didn't until a friend of mine gave me something and then I ate it. And now I had wind powers for a little bit. I could summon really strong wind, and that was pretty good with the fog. I just figured that would be, kind of it. I get wind, but I'm just gonna don't judge me for this. This is normal for my sister. As Tate is going to kneel down to the vines and then just sort of like outstretch his hand just towards it.
And it just softly coils around your hand. And as it does, leaves bloom on the sides of it as if your presence is stimulating the growth of this plant.
Oh, all right, fella. Do you have a name? You have thoughts you want to share? Hi, I'm Tate, and Tate's just gonna like hold the leaves up to his ear.
And it just, on your presence, it just continues to grow. This is...
All right.
Science can't explain this.
I mean, it's magic, right? Magic doesn't really get explanations; it just happens, right?
I mean,
That's like the difference, yeah?
I guess so. We don't really have much in the way of magic here in Kenril.
Huh. Are you still like? Is she still attentively looking up and down at Tate?
She's very much following the growth of the plant.
I see. Janine, do you I'm assuming the moving the plants thing is gonna wait for a little bit since do you want to take a closer look at this sort of stuff?
Yes. And she'll just kind of reach into her pocket and pull out a little tiny magnifying glass and just sort of take it. And as she does so, she taps it, and then just like a second, almost like sort of laser focus proceeds to come out of it and look into the vine. And as she does so, she sort of takes a closer inspection as this vine is kind of just blooming in front of her. She just says, "Fascinating. The stems and the cells of this plant it seems to be undergoing an extreme level of photosynthesis and is growing at a rate much faster than anything ever recorded, even with the most powerful fertilizer that we were able to have."
I'll take the photosynthesis compliment, sunny disposition and all that, but fertilizer is yeah. I wonder if I can just Tate will like start thinking at the plants to start growing, or like he's gonna try to move the tendrils with his mind.
Mm-hmm. How so?
Hold on, let me reread the doc. I don't think I put it in the character sheet yet. No, I did not.
It's all good. It should be in the doc.
The doc. Damn, I cannot find it. Hold on.
Oh, I don't have it pinned. It's at the very top of your 111.
Ah, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to use the temp HP fielder. I'm gonna use the level 6 feature to give temp HP to Janine.
Mm-hmm.
I think the level 3 one might be a little too spicy.
Yeah, it's a little spicy.
Maybe next time, Janine. Maybe next time.
I see.
Back in the chair with you.
Yeah, so as you sort of do, the vines and the flowers that have sort of bloomed from this sort of just like, you can see just like a sort of like puff of life energy become visible between the two of you. And as it does, it proceeds to just work its way over to Janine, and she just kind of takes a step back. But as she does, just like even just soft vines and leaves proceed to sprout alongside her jacket. She just looks down at that, just like, fascinating. It just quickly grabs her microscope again and just starts looking at it. Says, you can transfer this? You can generate them? What? This is incredible.
I was just thinking that maybe I could give you a little pick-me-up is all. I mean,
oh, no.
You're very excitable right now, but...
I am. But that's not the that's not the point. So... Wow. Okay. I came in here to try and have you lift a box, and now here we are, and you seem to be able to create plant growth just with your mind. Okay.
Thank you for this opportunity, Janine. Here, how about take a seat? Take a seat, girl.
Okay.
Just, you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm great. I couldn't be better.
You look real in your element. That's like the widest smile I think you've shown me since we got here.
You and Sewer King in particular are very fascinating creatures.
Well, I don't think I'm quite comparable to that Marvel himself, but thank you. Yeah, we can. I mean, do we gotta be anywhere anytime soon? Because we can just keep messing around with this if you want. And I should probably figure out how I'm gonna use it to at least help the town, or if I gotta use it in a fire. Right?
No, yeah, that's totally fine. My job today was to just work on the greenhouse, so this is literally what I have to do today. And if you can stimulate plant growth, then I mean that'll be great. That'll be great.
It's a joke here about stimulation, but yeah. Yeah. This is work then. All right.
Wonderful.
And I think, yeah. I think that'll be a good DM, unless you have anything, unless Janine would like to talk about anything else.
No,
I'm totally open to learning more about her.
She's just gonna she's mostly gonna stay quiet and just kind of watch you interact with the plants and just take notes on her little sketch pad, and just trying to make sure that she is understanding and she's trying to scientifically understand magic. It is a fool's errand, but one that she is going to attempt nonetheless.
Janine, if I discover any other weird magic stuff, I'll be sure to come to you first, okay?
Oh, please do. This is fascinating. I haven't had something this interesting happen in a few years.
All right. But I think we're good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we had a request for a scene between SK and Thaddeus.
Yes.
Indeed.
And I'm cool to kick this off.
You had an idea.
I did have an idea. So, however, Thaddeus is chilling this. I presume it's closer to the afternoon now.
And you guys will be in Kenril for a few days, just so you can have it be like the next day if you wanted to, but otherwise, do as you will.
I think it'll be the same day. SK had a late start to the day. He slept very late. But he'll seek out Thaddeus and just kind of approach him, not like sheepishly per se, that's a bit too strong of a word, but just kind of quietly, and just, Thaddeus, my friend, I wonder if I could spare you for a moment.
Anytime. What's up?
It's a bit of a potentially personal matter that I would seek your assistance with.
How many times do I have to tell you? All you have to do is ask. I've seen a lot of personal matters over the last couple days.
Very good. So one more shouldn't be all that alarming. Very good. Follow me. And
yeah. Sure.
He's going to lead Thaddeus back to their sleeping quarters, and just, I need you to be my eyes, so to speak.
Your eyes.
My eyes. Something that I cannot see. Something has changed, and I need you to describe it to me, because I quite literally do not have eyes in the back of my head.
All right. That's something that's new to me. I genuinely thought you might be able to do that, but...
Alas, that would be very useful, though, but... well, without further ado, and he's gonna untie the knot at his neck and just tug off his shirt.
Oh,
And-
whoa.
What?
Carry on.
Well, you said you'd be my eyes.
Yeah, keep going. Thaddeus is blushing a little bit.
Very good. And it, like, totally not reading the room here, just takes it and finishes taking it off. And so with his shirt off, and this is probably something that you've seen before, Thaddeus, but just the right half of his abdomen is covered in this coarse brownish gray fur, and it leads into the scales of his reptilian arm. But he turns around, and you see what Lily described from the scene the prior night. You see these large, shining, opalescent prismatic scales growing out of his back, along his spine, and into his tailbone, before it becomes the crocodilian tail.
Well, that's a new one.
Yes, I felt something growing last night.
Well, you've got more scales now, I'll tell you that much.
Ah. Well, what of the color, the make, the sheen, the texture?
You're talking about scales like they're plate armor. Thaddeus is gonna knock on one for a second. No, they're thick. They're tough. I'll be honest, I don't foresee anyone getting a good stab in the back on you soon. So if you were ever worried about being assassinated by one of your subjects,
Well,
I
I
think you
can't
could
say
put
that
to
was at the
ease.
forefront of my concerns, although now you've got me curious.
I don't know, I've
Caligula
seen-
always did have an eye for my throne.
Nero's also been eyeing the kitchen knives a lot lately.
That does make sense. Well, And he kind of looks a little, like, a little peeved, almost. Just, I honestly thought that there'd be more to it than just a few scales, but I suppose I'll
Well,
figure out what else may happen in time.
SK, it's not just a few, it's all the way up your back.
And he'll sort of extend his arms, wrap his arms around his own back, just sort of feeling at the scales. Just, they are considerably larger than the other scales in my catalog.
I've only ever seen this on one other person, and they're bigger than his.
I do think that, well, I think our encounter with the Mist Dragon is having some, interesting effects on my biological makeup.
Well, let's hope they're good ones. At the very least, you got better armor now.
Yes, I was about to say, if all I get out of it is a sturdier spine, I suppose that's good.
I think we could all use a little more backbone around here. We've got a lot to be fighting up ahead.
Indeed.
And you know, if we can't get it naturally, figuratively, store-bought is fine.
Huh. Seem in higher spirits today, Thaddeus.
I had a lot of support.
Good.
And SK, if you ever need that support too, don't ever be afraid to ask. I've got your back. More than those scales ever will.
Hmm. Of course. Of course. You've always been there for me.
And I always will be.
I know.
I mean it.
I know.
SK. Do you?
Just kind of blinks at that. Of course. You and I, we've been through thick and thin together. Nigh inseparable since our equally turbulent and forgetful minds found each other.
Thaddeus is gonna nod. That's right. My home is always going to be your home.
Gives a smile and a nod, and he tugs his shirt back on, starts to tuck it into his trousers, and ties up the neck prim and proper again.
You know, sometimes I remember how long it took you to learn how to put on a button-up.
Well, it's difficult with certain differing appendages, and he sort of clacks his claws against each other in his reptilian hand.
Hang on. Give me a second, you missed a spot again.
By all
Thaddeus
means.
is going to come up. He's going to grab the top button of SK's shirt, and he's going to put it in the hole for him. There we go. Can't have you looking undignified, can we?
Certainly not. Thank you.
Of course. Is there anything else you need?
No, that was all. You know me best, after all, and I trust your eyes more than anyone else's for any newfound discoveries.
And I trust your feelings. I don't need to just be there to be your back alley doctor. If you need something, just ask.
Of course. Thank you.
Anytime. Hey, I will say one thing, though. You used a little bit of a pick-me-up.
A pick-me-up?
Yeah. Daddy's gonna fish in his coat for a moment before he hands SK a flask. Not alcoholic. I brought some juice from the Plantar farm.
Oh. Bit of sugar to shock the senses, then.
Could use it after all the bitterness we've had over the last couple days.
Ugh, God, true. I still feel like I have that wretched, smoky aftertaste in my mouth.
Clear it out with some apple juice. It always does the
Thank
trick
you.
for me.
Thank you. He'll take the flask, take a very hearty swig. Give it back to you.
Alright,
Much better. Thank you.
no problem.
Well, I won't take up any more of your time. There are so many fascinating curiosities about Kenril. I suggest we get our fill before we have to get back.
In the worst case scenario, I shove a bunch of books in a bag and hit the road. Could use some new
Anything?
stuff to put on the shelves.
Yes, anything of interest?
Define interest. I found a pretty good set of comedy in the nonfiction section.
Ooh, I love a good comedy. And with that, we can say that they walk out of the room talking about men sitting on clouds.
Thaddeus is really hooked on this, okay? He's very confused.
All
He
right.
got very autistic about the Bible.
New hyperfixation unlocked.
The
What
Bible.
the fuck is this?
The Bible.
The Bible, asterisk, not in a religious way.
It's like the Prince of Egypt thing.
Yes, yes.
All right. So I'll just go ahead and move us on along, but at the start, that day just kind of continues with work being done consistently over. And as the next day begins, all of you just hear coming from outside of your rooms, just Antai's voice speaking up. And just says, "Request all people to the tree as soon as possible."
Well, definitely gonna heed that warning.
Yeah, Thaddeus is going out.
And,
He does have a knapsack over his shoulder full of books that he has requisitioned.
and Tate and Sewer King, you guys are sleeping in the same room. You hear a knock on your door.
I think to be totally honest, SK is going to look at Tate expectantly because he's not about to answer his own door.
Sif, are you here?
You're muted, Sif.
Summon Sif.
Okay, if he's not here, that's all right.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll get that door opened.
Yeah.
Gotta pry it open.
But as you open the door, you can see Janine is waiting there for you. Says, "Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Doctor.
Yes. I wanted to be sure to grab both to grab Tate because Anti has an idea for something going forward that we think could help with the tree. So wanted to come and grab you in person for that."
Well, I'm sure he would be only too glad to accompany you then.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Then we can go ahead and make our way to the tree.
I admit I find myself curious. What are you working on?
Well, the tree is mostly repaired at this point. The computers are back online, and a lot of the sensors seem to be working. However, there are still a few steps that need to be taken to get it fully back into operation. I must admit that I was not familiar with any of this, but Anti seems to have a lot of the schematics properly in their databases, so it's been a big help for us to be able to help to sort of rebuild the tree. So it's mostly complete. There's just a few things left.
He kind of looks at her, like nodding, like he understands. Like, yes, I see. Being an active listener, but not really comprehending any of this.
Great.
Well, would you mind terribly if I oversee your work?
Oh no, absolutely. I think everybody's going to be gathering, so we'll make this. We'll just make the trek together. I just wanted to make sure to grab both you and Tate, so that way I could explain what was going on beforehand, because Tate is going to be, I think, likely invaluable for this.
Well, I'm curious to see what you and Anti have come up with. So please, lead on.
She'll lead y'all down to out of the barracks area and into Kenrill proper. And you can see that there's where you had seen a few times the mist had been kind of like softly pouring in, is no longer there. There seems to be a base operation of this tree that seems to be active now that wasn't active before. Similar to the stalks, it seems to be operational and pushing the mist back, but not going much further than the general area. As you look up to into the dome to see where the glass had shattered and where the mist is pouring through, you can see almost just like a line of the mist sort of just being held back by almost an invisible barrier. She'll just say like, so it seems to be partially operational, but still missing a few components, which is good. So I think we're just about there. At this point, going to the main central area, the central town square around the tree. You arrive there, and basically all of the scientists are there, sort of waiting outside for everyone to arrive. And I'll go ahead and just, if you folks want to do a quick bit of RP amongst yourselves as the four of you before starting the scene proper.
Sure. Kloven's definitely taking a look at the barrier between the mist with a look of relief across his face. I'm honestly surprised they were able to do it in such a The scientists are very, very talented.
Yes, I admit I don't understand a word of what Dr. Janine is talking about most of the time, but it seems that, she and the others and I have done a hell of a job in the tree's restoration.
Certainly gives us hope for things to come. Should we not get visited by the child again.
Hmm.
Right?
So am I here? Sorry.
Yeah. You're here. They're just talking while they're around the tree right now.
Hey, so I would just be like walking into the scene at this moment after being requested.
Mm-hmm. That sounds fine.
Yeah. Hey guys. I got told I needed to be here for a thing.
Yes, specifically requested by Dr. Janine, no less.
Oh. Alright, well, it's probably gotta be a real big box then. Alright, I'm gonna go see it.
You'll walk up to Janine, who is currently talking to Anti. And Anti will quickly turn to face you and just say, Janine has told me of your capabilities of moving plant life. Would you mind attempting for this tree?
Do you want me to, like, bring it to bloom, or, like, actually make it move?
They'll just look at you and just go, neither. Request. Please bring the vines and the tree trunks that make up the outside of the tree up to the tree itself and fasten them there.
It's gonna look up at this massive fucking tree. Alrighty then.
Tate, is that something you're capable of doing?
I can certainly try, as I will begin to storm surge, as the Tate will individually look at each part of the tree and just sort of push both his hands out, Mob Psycho style.
And as you do,
You see him,
oh, go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, you just see him like holding that pose, squatting, just looking in front of them with eyes tight shut, with like the most amount of stress on his face.
As you do this, you see each individual segment slowly lift themselves up. The first one lifted up and just quickly moved back and affixed to the top point, sealing it together. And as you do so, this takes an extreme amount of energy and focus. But to all outward appearances, it seems way easier than anyone could have ever thought possible. And Anti just looks at you and just says, impressed.
Pleased. Alright. Next one then. Like heavy breaths between each word.
Request.
Walking over to the next one. Oh yeah.
Do not push yourself.
Oh,
However,
I won't. Go ahead.
However, your assistance is most appreciated. And you all just essentially watch as Tate, manifesting this power that you've never really seen before, is just able to move all of the branches of this massive, like 30-foot radius tree back up, seal the different broken pieces back together, and replace them onto the tree until it looks just like the one in Kenril. And as the final piece goes in, all of the scientists who have been kind of watching, taking notes, and just chattering amongst themselves just kind of just applaud and just dumbfounded by the fact that someone is able to just do this on a whim. And just Anti just looks at you and just says, inquiry. How?
Plantar family magic. My sister could do all that without breaking a sweat. I think my mom probably could do in her own way as well. Give me a minute, homie. Tate's just gonna sit down against the tree.
Kloven the cleric gonna check up on him. That was very impressive.
I'm sure you could
pick up that trick, Tate.
When I was alone with Janine in the greenhouse, things happened, and I can do that now on top of the whole wind thing.
You are full of surprises, Tate.
Don't worry, Your Majesty. You can still be our special secret, our big special marvel. Got my. Whew, just give me a minute.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. My sister does it, or you, Kloven, for that matter. Magic's weird.
Yes. Take your time. Try not to speak too much, especially your first time doing so much.
Just sit there and rest and enjoy their company.
Then, after a few minutes of rest, you will go ahead, or Anti will call out to you all and just say, request, join me inside at your earliest convenience.
You got it.
I think that is anti-language for this instant.
Unwaveringly polite, as always.
Do you need help standing, Tate?
Yeah, I appreciate it, as I'll just grab onto Kloven's bicep and then shoulder to lift himself up.
Walk together with them. Inside.
As you walk inside, you can see What was once just a single screen lit up in the corner is now just an absolute marvel of technical achievement. Computers all around, and just devices beyond anything anyone has ever seen here. All working, buzzing, and seemingly operating in tandem. And Anti just looks at you and just says, "Inquiry. Do you any of you know how to operate machinery?"
I mean, I can.
All eyes looking at.
Yeah, I think we all just sort of shift our eyes to Thaddeus.
That is what I'm good at.
Inquiry once more. Would anyone else like to know?
How to work technology?
Affirmative. It may be most helpful in the coming days.
Anyone else volunteers? I'd most certainly at least like to learn.
Hey, DM,
Mm-hmm.
can SK have an introspective moment to see how Mother Dearest feels about this?
Oh.
Monologue token.
Sure. Sure. Is there anything in particular, like, I'm trying to debate how this would work. So can you tell me a bit more about exactly what you're sort of looking for?
So, my thought process is he's getting the inclination that she and therefore he have a growing interest in these eyes,
Mm-hmm.
which we know are hidden behind these technologically sealed doors and compartments.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the player is thinking this is a good way to figure out how to unlock those doors. And would Mother Dearest be interested in that?
I think Mother Dearest would absolutely be interested in that. Though
Okay.
you do not know where the eye currently is.
Correct. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Right?
But yeah, after a moment of pondering, SK will also raise his humanoid hand and just, yes, a king should be varied in his skill set, don't you think?
Affirmative. Then allow me. And essentially what's going to happen here is I'm just going to say, for lack of a better word, in any checks that involve using computers, you are all now going to be proficient in said ability to do so.
Hell yeah, we learned how to use a keyboard.
Hooray!
I know some of you, like, the checks are dependent on what's actually going to be happening, but just, like, for all intents and purposes, whatever check is made, you can technically make it with proficiency. But the one part that I am going to specifically clarify is after you get your quick little keyboard monitor 101 class, your Tech 101 class, Anti is going to proceed to reach inside of their core and pull out the eye.
Oh.
And they are going to take a look at the rest of you and just say, "This is a powerful object. These are what are required to make sure that the mist is pushed back further. Each tree was designed with a receptacle for at least one eye. And in doing so, this is what caused the mist to regress out of the stalks and far beyond. This is the most important thing that we have. It is the biggest weapon that we have. They are going to just turn around, go to the computer, and just with their tendrils like type something really quickly beyond what anyone can read. And as they do so, a little compartment comes up, and Anti is going to place the eye into it. SK, you are feeling one hell of a push watching this.
I think it kind of looks like he just stumbles forward a little bit, but he catches himself and collects himself and just keeps watching very, very intently.
Even on the sound of your trip, Anti's eyes, or what they appears to be the eyes, their head just swivels around and just looks directly at you before returning quickly. They just say, "Request, be careful."
Of course, my apologies.
And as they put the eye in and use their hands to push it down, you all feel just massive pulse just of energy just poof, push out from the center of the tree. And as this happens, Anti turns to you and says, "It is that simple. The tree is repaired, and we have cleared more mist from the area. Do you understand this importance?"
Just like that? It's that easy?
Humorous. I would not call this easy. After all, it requires something of incredible strength.
And should the eye ever be removed? What would happen?
Inconsequential, the eye shall never be removed.
Of course.
With that, they will look at the rest of you and just say, "Now, would you all like to go home?"
Very much so.
Yeah, I need a rest.
Please, come with me. And they'll lead you around back behind the central areas of computers where they will push a button, and as they do so, a elevator essentially comes down. And as you all squeeze yourself in there, it goes back up to about the midpoint of the tree. And in this room, there is a large circle with multiple runes inscribed inside of them. Anti will speak up and say, "This shall return us to the stocks. Are you all ready?"
It's been a while since this was used, right? Do we know if this is gonna work proper?
You're telling me this goes straight back home?
Affirmative, Thaddeus. Tate, your concerns are understandable. Would you like me to test?
Out of character, I think it'd be so funny if Anti just kicked Tate in. But
Thaddeus is lighting up, by the way. Anti, can you answer me a question?
They'll nod.
Tate, sorry, Does this go both ways?
Affirmative.
Thaddeus is going to back off, but there's a beaming smile on his face. He is getting a plan. He is hatching ideas.
Yeah, we were gonna. Yeah, Janine will come visit us. We need to talk about setting up a supply run here. You know, I mean, they've been fine, but we can help them out here.
Oh, we can.
Yeah, maybe get, maybe franchise that bar of yours. Yeah, that's the word for it.
No one runs the bar like me, Tate. Unless you want to give bartending a try.
I will stick to eating out of your snack bowl.
Humorous.
What I thought.
All right. Well, how about I take the first step, just in case.
Be my guest.
Alright, here's hoping this doesn't zap me to high hell. And Tate is going to step onto the platform between all the runes.
Alright. As you step on it, to everybody else, you see Tate step onto this, and then quickly, sort of like, you see the body essentially just stretch vertically, really high, before it kind of comes back together, and it's disappeared. It is gone.
I'd like to imagine, like, right before that happens, he turns to anti, says anti, but he gets cut off at the S and just start All right, well,
And
Tate's gone.
Tate, you just essentially, this will be the same for everybody, you essentially just experience just like the incredible force onto your body as if you are moving at this high speed, and it almost feels like your body can't sustain it. But then, before you have time to even fully process this feeling, you're back. And you're in same sort of room, but it's empty. And we'll go back to everyone else. Please, whoever would like to go next.
Well, no time like the present. That is gonna step up.
Everybody else sees the same phenomenon.
Scales before beauty. He'll turn to this guy.
Oh my god.
It just gives you a very pointed look and an overly polite smile. But real quick, he's going to look at Janine and give her a very courteous bow. Just, thank you, Doctor, for everything.
Of course. I think I overheard that you folks are going to be having a party. Went back in the stocks. I would love to come.
Of course. I shall extend an invitation. Toot sweet.
Thank you.
And if I may ask a favor, and he's gonna lean in really close to her, so presumably only she can hear. Take good care of number 0, would you?
And her smile kind of just like fades a little bit, but it's quickly brought back. It says, "Of course, of course,
Good.
we will."
Very good. We'll see you very soon. Gives her a firm handshake, and he'll go through the portal.
Kloven.
Kloven will walk over to Adamar. Mind if you hold my hand?
Even in a situation like this, you're still looking for a chance to flirt.
Figured it'd be best if we go together.
Fair enough. Takes his hand. They step through. At this point, Anti will step along right after all of you. And you all find yourselves in the same room, but in a different locale.
I just feel like went 30 miles in 2 seconds.
Still like bent over.
Yeah, Thaddeus is like hunched over.
Oh.
That's something we gotta get used to. Oh.
Oh, jeez.
SK straight up face plants.
You know what? I'm kind of glad it was like that though. I thought about the existential crisis of what if we were just like zapped from like one point to another. Like, would we be the same person? Being stretched like that sucked, but I know I'm me.
Yeah, but now I'm not so sure about the feast idea. Oh.
Oh, feast. Tate immediately just like is like brightens up feast.
Oh, come on.
Food. All right, let's compose ourselves, everybody. And I'm imagining Adam R and Anti come in like right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does Adam R take it, Lily?
I gotta know.
Yeah, he comes through handheld with Kloven. Just
Aww.
noting that a little bit. And before just kind of stumbling, losing the grip, and just grabbing onto a railing that's right beside him, just like, invigorating.
It's good
That's
to know
definitely a word for it.
It's good to know we aren't the only ones floored by this thing. Ugh.
Anti just looks at you all and just goes, very humorous.
Oh man.
Is this
Laughing at our
something
pain.
Is this something people got used to back in the day, Anti?
No, I do not believe so.
Oh, great.
No one ever got used to this.
Kloven's just standing perfectly still with the hand over his mouth, like, oh, interesting.
What do you mean you're fine?
He has his eyes closed. He's just standing perfectly still.
Every day, the Paladin Divine Health feature scores dividends. Well, I know you're not a Paladin, but like, God, I wish I was one right now.
I'm gonna look over at Tate and just say, this isn't fair, man.
It's our fault for not being trained fighters.
Listen, I think Kloven's just built different.
Table.
If you look a little closer, it looks like he's gonna throw
Kloven
up.
internally trying so hard not to vomit.
He's trying so hard not to vomit right now.
Keep it together.
Together.
Not moving at all.
God. But yes. So we'll say you guys take a second to get your bearings and reorientate it to life before coming.
Thaddeus.
Go ahead.
Thaddeus is leaning on Tate.
Yeah.
Once they're back up.
Come on, brother.
Before
Alright, let's go.
entering a similar elevator chamber and going downwards. And as you do so, and the doors open, you can see the central entrance to the tree in front of you. And just the slightest hint of the stalks.
Home sweet home.
And as you all walk out
Sorry.
of the main entrance of the tree, the first thing that comes to any of your mind is to look down and to the right, for where Mai was. However, there is nothing. There is no person there.
Tate is going to, he's still carrying Thaddeus, by the way, so Thaddeus doesn't put up with this. He's just gonna fucking speed walk over to where Mai originally was.
Hey.
And you can see there's plenty of town folk just walking around, going about their day as normal. And they quickly come over and look at you and just be like, when did you get back? Did it go well?
Well, tree help, tree make us move fast. Where's Mai?
Where's Mai?
Big, she didn't grow bigger, did she? Or smaller, or?
She's with Sapphire on the ship.
The math of like big dragon on ship is not adding up. looks back at party, looks at Thaddeus. Hey, listen, buddy. I know we just went through a lot right now, but you're gonna go through a whole lot more if you don't grab onto Kloven right now.
Yeah, good idea.
Alright.
Godspeed, Tate. Thaddeus gonna stumble over and grab Kloven's arm.
I'll wait for you guys at the docks as like Tate will action and bonus action dash with the 50 move speed.
Then, as you proceed to make your way closer to the ship, something comes into view. As you can see 2 people on the deck of Sapphire's ship, one of which immediately is clearly Sapphire, holding a rapier in her hand. And then across from her is a woman with dragon horns that are of golden scales, ears, and red hair with shocks of white going through all of it, wearing a dress while also holding a rapier in her hand. And you can just hear Sapphire just call out, "Very good! Let's go again." And as you do, they reorientate themselves, and the person in red hair comes face to face with the rest of you coming running after her. As you see Mai in a humanoid form, but covered in dragon scales. She looks at you, waves, and just says, "Welcome back, everyone." And that is where ending session.
Oh man. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I am fucking everyone's
He's back,
wide
baby.
eyes stared.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for playing.
Happily.
This is a lot of fun, lots of RP, and don't worry, everyone, there's plenty more coming. A lot more coming, holy cow. We got the RP in this party.
Happy Pride, this is the shirtless episode.
Happy Pride, this is the shirtless and the Vine episode.
Look forward to shirtless Thaddeus next episode.
Yeah, there's always room for more shirtless people. Anyways, happy Pride. I will go ahead and get this session up hopefully in the next few days. But we are actually going to be recording the next session on in the very near future. So likely a quick turnaround, but hope you guys are looking forward to it, and we will talk to y'all and play with y'all very soon. So yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.